Excuse me. Darth Jar Jar. Ridiculous. That's the Lego.
Not
Lego
anymore.
Star Wars
The
Rebuild the Galaxy.
Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar
Jar
Jar.
Jar Jar. Ridiculous. Excuse me.
I love it.
Boy, was that Lilo and Stitch or was that? By the way, I say Lilo and Stitch because I've never seen Lilo and Stitch, so I don't know if that's Lilo or Stitch.
You haven't seen it?
I've never seen
know
it.
You get live action's coming.
I've
That
heard
was
that.
announced too.
Isaiah just got into Moana. So now we
Really?
can watch
I think it's
that.
pronounced
We watch
Mona.
it. Mona.
Yeah, true.
Why is that
Mona.
Moana? It's just Mona. I mean, come on.
Mona.
Let's don't get crazy.
Oh man.
No, let's get crazy.
Oh, let's
Welcome
get
back to
crazy.
the Star Wars Guys podcast. We are excited to be back. We've been off a few weeks
Yes.
since Acolyte ended.
We couldn't stand to talk anymore.
We did our-
It's
we
like
did our-
Acolyte knocked us out.
So distraught.
We did
have
a couple
nothing to
weeks
say.
on just breaking down the
We did
finale and our discussion of the show, and took a couple weeks, and now we're back. D23 took place, Comic-Con took place, and there's a lot to dive into. There's a lot to
of
discuss.
announcements.
A lot, yeah. So we're excited. We're
Excited.
going to talk about all those things. We're excited to be back and kind of discuss some of what was released, what was announced, and then our thoughts and the future of Star Wars. So we're looking forward to it. So as always, we are your hosts, Mike,
Hello there.
myself, Nate. Hello there. And you know him well,
You're an
Uncle.
American. Hello there. How you doing?
Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome.
Well, I almost went like Jeff Bridges now and said hello there. I was
Hello
talking
there.
with someone. I was talking with Matt Hunter about this in Texas. How Jeff Bridges, who's this Californian, who's now he's just like he was Rooster Cogburn, and then he
Yeah,
just
he's
never
totally-
went back.
Totally Western.
Well, so it's like he's might as well he's like doing an interview where he's scratching his belly and like loosening his belt buckle.
He
and-
was a literal surfer
That's-
dude before.
yeah, he's a dude, man.
Dude,
and now it's
man.
well, sort of. Yeah. It's like it's become a little Sam Elliott mixed with mixed with Jeff Bridges or
Jeff
something. I
Bridges.
don't know how that's anything to do with Star Wars. Nate, where can the people find us?
Jeff Elliott.
I
Sam,
just shut down our podcast
That's
with
it.
our rants.
that's it.
Yeah.
But no, we got a lot to talk about, and I'm excited. D23. Just to set the stage, there was Comic-Con the week before, which Star Wars doesn't-
Comic-Con. I like saying it.
Comic-Con.
Probably.
I know it's Trump announcing the different the release schedule of when we could expect perhaps some more Star Wars news at Comic-Con. They love comics and they
Love
love
cons.
cons. We love cons. Don't we love a con?
We love the cons.
We love a con. Conmala. Conmala. No.
That was a low-hanging fruit. He missed that one.
That was.
did.
Conmala's an easy one.
Conmala.
Okay.
Instead,
Man.
they've recycled because remember it was like Crooked Hillary and then it's just become Crooked Sleepy
everybody.
Joe and also Crooked Joe,
Crooked.
Crooked Nancy,
All of them.
Crooked Nancy. Yeah, Comic-Con
Comic-Con, D20.
happened,
Yeah.
which was a
Yep.
big Marvel event. I mean, it has a lot of stuff, but it's Marvel
a big
usually takes
Marvel,
advantage of
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
D23.
then D23,
Investors meeting. next
investors
Investors
meeting,
meeting.
yeah.
We
So
missed
there
that
was
too.
a lot, and we'll go through this kind of not release slate of all the projects necessarily, but there's a Disney investors meeting where they talk about the upcoming slate of Star Wars films. We can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get to Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
The first official trailer out, which I'm super excited about because I had not seen any of the
I know. We
leaked
hadn't really
footage or
heard
anything
much.
from,
I know.
from before.
We hadn't heard much. Yeah.
I'm very excited about it. We'll get to that.
Me
And then
too.
also,
True.
we just my intro quote was a little Lego Star Wars 4-piece they're
Rebuild.
calling it
Yeah.
a little event that's coming next month. So that's
Rebuild the
exciting.
galaxy.
Rebuild the Galaxy. It's basically the Star Wars What If. Which
It is. Star Wars What
funny.
If, Star Wars Multiverse.
Yeah, which is great. And we got Mark Hamill and Ahmed Best coming back for that,
Yeah.
so that's exciting. Mandalorian and Grogu film news, and Favreau and Filoni out on stage at D23. Actually,
And filming started.
time it. Filming started. They put out a little,
Yeah.
like 30-second little sizzle reel at the
Yeah.
showing some of the stuff they've already done.
Yeah.
And then also Andor Season 2. So we've got a lot to get to.
And a mystery movie.
And mystery movies.
We're
so
guessing that the announcement. Yeah.
let's talk. Let's talk about that because that was a little pre D23. So
Yeah.
we can get to this. That'll lead right into just the
Yeah,
order
let's
of
dive
events
into it.
that have happened since we last met.
Let's do it.
Meanwhile,
So
Meanwhile,
in the halls of justice.
Hall of Justice.
I
Superman.
don't know. I said halls of justice. It's just like a bunch of halls. It's just
Bunch of halls.
The halls of
you have a
justice.
hall pass here, and you're just gonna get just written up for being out in the halls of justice when you should be in superhero class. Disney reaffirms that they're releasing 3 Star Wars films between 2026 and 2027, which on its face is exciting. It also makes me a little nervous.
I know.
Right.
Because we go from no Star Wars films
Mm-hmm.
to 3 within 18 months, which is a lot, which I'm never going to be like, oh, I don't want Star Wars films. I'm just like, oh, man, I really hope that they
I know.
really they get that spark and get the – because, again, the spark has not faded for us who do a Star Wars podcast. We're very excited. But for just the general audience, I hope that these are financially successful.
Yeah.
That always leads to
You
more
can, you
projects.
can
Yeah.
swing and miss only a certain number of times. So
Yeah.
if we wanted to do well.
That's right. In baseball, you can only swing and miss 3 times within one at bat.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought, I think that sounds right.
And technically, you can
Each.
also take a strike too.
You can not
So
even
you could
swing.
even not swing, and also you're out. So,
That's right.
yeah. So I'm excited. Enough baseball references. It's a good sport, though.
It's a good sport. Have you heard of this sport called? They're calling it baseball. Baseball.
But yeah. So they actually this release schedule thing that was posted online. The Disney Q3 Q3 Investors presentation reaffirms the plans to have 3 Star Wars films between 2026 and 2027, and the headline from the actual thing said 3 Star Wars films coming 2026 to 2027, including The Mandalorian and Grogu. So that's the only official one that they're saying is 100% one of these
One of
3
the
because
3.
that is the first one coming.
Yep.
They've announced
They're not saying the Ray movie is
The
one
Ray
of those.
movie.
no, and
That's a guess.
we
Yeah.
are almost
That is a
positive it
guess.
is because they've talked about that one maybe being the furthest along,
Mhm.
and that it was initially going to be the first one
Yeah.
of the upcoming Star Wars films, and then Mandalorian Grogu idea kind of came about. We think behind the scenes they possibly switched from maybe a season 4 of Mando into
Make a
making
movie.
the film, and
Yep.
and some news about that at Star Wars Celebration that was exciting is they, Favreau and Filoni came out. They showed a little bit of footage. Zeb was officially shown and announced that he is in Mando, which is interesting because they show him in Mando, season 3, just that one little glimpse of him. Then he's not in Ahsoka at all.
Right.
Yeah.
We thought maybe he
And
would
we
be.
thought he'd maybe be in it, and then we thought, oh, well, maybe he's not in Ahsoka because it's just like so expensive, maybe to make this character.
Again, we sold him way too low.
And then they're like, no,
No.
it's because
Yeah.
he's going to be
He's
in
in the whole
the
thing.
movie.
Right. He's in
going
the
to be
movie.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Some
was
people.
just timing.
yeah.
A timeline. He's not over there. He's doing his thing
Right.
with Mando.
Him
So
and Carson are rocking it out.
Yeah.
And then the final little bit of this of the film of the Mandalorian and
He
Grogu
could be in a
news.
season 2 of
They
Ahsoka.
with
He could be.
their official StarWars.com press release about the Mandalorian and Grogu, because they actually came out with, I think the official date for it. Did they come out with the date for it?
Yeah, they did.
Which I didn't screenshot, so go find it.
So we had
No,
no idea.
I think it's now coming out officially. Is it on the same day?
It's the same day as Avengers.
It comes out on the same day as event. Or wait.
Wow.
Maybe they changed it. I think it comes out at least. It says they both are released in May. I don't know if it comes out the same.
Wasn't it like May
day.
26th, I think?
May 26th. It is May 2026.
You know why they're doing that?
Mandalorian and Grogu. So I don't think they can have 2 Disney projects come out on the same day because they're both Disney. But I do think it's the same. It is the same month, which
It could.
just gives me a little
Hey,
bit of
I
nervousness.
thought they were
Barbara-
on the same day.
Barbenheimer
They
has
may-
changed everything. People want to capture that
competitive
feeling.
nature.
I'll see
That's
them
true.
both.
They
And you get
used to
Tom
have-
Cruise, I'm seeing both. So I
like it.
if you're shooting for Memorial Day weekend, that was when I
That is
grew up.
true.
That's
I
when
could-
Star Wars always hit.
That it used to be.
It was
people
always around
forget-
Matt's
I could see
birthday.
that. Actually,
Can't forget
I
that
agree
it was
with what
May
you're saying.
was Star Wars.
That was the month.
And I agree with what you're saying. I think
You're gonna do
even
May
though it is
4th?
competing with
maybe.
itself, it
Yeah.
could like Barbie and Oppenheimer cause that.
I would rather do that than put them 3 weeks apart. Wouldn't I don't know, maybe not.
Let me see. And
Put 'em
have
together.
all the because like
Grogu.
here's the thing: the people that are
May 20.
People that want to
May
see both are still
20
going to see both.
Yeah.
Even if they don't see them
May
back to back or
22nd.
the same
They
day,
will. Yeah.
they're still going to see them both.
Yeah.
comes out on Matt's birthday, May 22nd.
Okay.
is what it is
Okay,
now.
May 22nd.
But then in the press release on StarWars.com, they had
Wow.
an interesting little kind of write up about, we're excited for this movie. It's coming out this time, but it also had in there some. I didn't screenshot the exact phrasing, but it was exciting that they said this will be a very the phrasing was so intentional, a very cinematic event that will combine the classic. It said like a classic real sets, practical effects with exciting, visual animation
cool.
technology and stuff. Which I saw a lot of people already make even articles and video responses to this, going, "This was Disney's version of saying, don't worry, it's not just all in the volume."
Yeah.
Which
Right.
we love the volume, but we've talked about before. One thing
And we're
I
gonna
was a
get
little
public
nervous
roast
of
of
There's
is
limitations
with
to the volume.
Mando movie coming out, I don't want it to feel like Mando Season 4 that they made into a movie. I
Right.
want it to feel like a Star Wars
Big.
movie,
Big.
Mm-hmm.
not like, oh, this is something that we might as well just put this out in theaters.
Right.
That it was just like,
Yeah.
this feels bigger.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff is shot, on location doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
We
about
got Anakin Skywalker in the chat. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there. So yeah, excited. We speculate in our little group chat as far as what the movies could be. So maybe before we move on, when we talk about these three, Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yep.
May 2026.
Yep.
Then we've got December. Is it December or is it the following May and then December? We have a May release, a December release, and then a following December, or is it May? I
don't know if they
December.
gave us-
May, December.
We have three coming out.
Yeah.
So Ray movie, we think almost positively is one of those movies, and then we speculate what the third.
I changed my
What's the
mind
third
about
one?
what I said though,
Yeah, let's hear it.
because Filoni, Favreau, that is Grogu. That is Mando Grogu. Really, I thought because we haven't heard anything about it, to get a 2027, even hit the 2027, something's got to be working.
Yeah,
And I thought if it's something in house rather than,
Something new.
something new like that they're working on in house, like it's a Filoni thing,
Mhm.
Yeah,
could be.
Mhm.
I thought that might be easier to keep it close to the chest.
yeah.
So that was my guess. I thought it was going to be Mando Grogu, Ray, and then
See, that'd be
something
kinda
else.
like-
Filoni's movie.
Something Filoni's cooking up. I don't know what it
Well,
could
because
be.
Filoni, because they did announce that Filoni is directing a Star Wars film
See?
as well. That there's the Favreau
There you
movie,
go.
and then there's the Filoni movie.
yeah.
Right? That
yeah.
they-
Yeah. They did.
So
Because
maybe.
they announced that at Celebration, they and this is the Favreau, the Mandalorian Grogu is a Favreau directed
Favreau's running the whole
movie.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But also it is him and Filoni because they are the Mando guys
They're
together.
the one. Yeah.
And Filoni came out on stage and said, like, I'm excited. This is my first experience on a film, like as being one of the creators on a film.
Yeah.
And I've been excited to learn from John, who's such an established filmmaker. He's done all this stuff. He's been so big. Obviously, he knows what he's doing, and he's like, and I'm just excited to learn from him. And then at Celebration, when they announced the Filoni film, they were saying like this is his first crack at directing a film,
Yeah.
and he'll write it and do. Where I think Favreau is the main writer and
Yeah.
creator behind
Yeah.
the Mando,
Behind
Yeah.
Mando.
and Filoni's helped facilitate the
Guiding.
story and guide it.
Like
Yeah.
John, you absolutely cannot do
You
that.
can't
Yes.
McClunky
Yeah.
every.
McClunky, you can't name this
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Mandalorian and McClunky. McClunky and Grogu.
It's just called Star Wars. McClunky means curtains.
McClunky means
It's
curtains.
Clayton. It's Clayton's.
McClunky means curtains. So the third film, quick speculation, 'cause I know we've got a lot to cover. But
That was my guess. Yeah, I don't know what it would be.
we talked about the potential of, and I'm not saying which of these it would be, but the things that have been officially announced.
Mangled.
The Mangold film.
Yep.
My only hesitation towards the Mangold film being this, because I have no hesitation towards the film. I'm excited, really excited about that, is that there has been zero indication, zero chatter that a script is currently being written for that,
Yeah.
that's currently in development anywhere, that they're mentioning casting, or there's been zero mention of it. And when it was even announced at Celebration, it felt to me at least like the one that was probably the furthest off.
Yeah.
Because Mangold was doing Indiana Jones at the time. Also, real world, issues that affect movies. I hope, because Mangold's a great filmmaker. He did Logan. I love Logan. Logan's one of my favorite superhero movies ever.
Good.
He's done a number of. I think he did 3:10 to Yuma, which is a fantastic Western movie. There's a number of things he's done that are Ford v Ferrari, like movies that get Oscar nominations. He's a great filmmaker. I am a little bit. I'm hoping that maybe Disney is also just taking its time with the Mangold thing because they might be a little nervous about how his latest film didn't make much money, and I don't mean from a so Mangold movie not gonna make money. I think there might be a little bit of just like also I think those from what I read, the production costs on Indy went super high, and I know that was one of the hesitations with Marvel bringing back the Russo brothers. I had actually read that as good and as much as their movies crushed it, that there was a little bit of at the end of their run with Endgame, there was a little bit of like, okay, we're super happy with, obviously the movie broke every record imaginable, but they didn't necessarily meet all their budget requirements. They end up going way over what they were supposed to, which again, it's you take what you get because like Marvel's like they went way over, so maybe there was a little bit of like, okay, we need to make sure we don't keep doing that.
Capture lightning every time.
Yeah.
So if you go over, you're like, I can go over, but you don't always.
Yeah, you can go over, and then when it works for Endgame, that's great. You made $3 billion, but when it goes over and it's indie and it doesn't make its money back, then they're like, and again, two different filmmakers, but that's just an example. They're
but
like,
the company still takes the hit.
Takes a hit. Yeah. So again, it doesn't mean I think they're off Mangold by any. I think that they're just like, cool. We're just not going to rush the Mangold movie out. He just did this. He's probably working on other projects.
It makes me wonder if it's something, if their plan and the reason why they are not talking about that stuff is if it is something that's potentially not announced yet that they're.
Sean Levy, the director of Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. He is actually he's one of the few guys who's actually not had a film not announced by Disney, but like Variety and Hollywood Reporter have said for the last 2 years
actively
that Sean Levy has a Star Wars movie that he has met with Star Wars and that he has a movie that he's working on. Like
and that he's like
in Star Wars
because it started as him saying like I want to do a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, going
I
back
want to do a Star Wars movie.
He started saying that around like it might have been around like Adam Project. Like back then. I think he was like
it was.
Really? And then it was
Free
Guy.
Because remember they even made a Star Wars reference. I don't know if you saw the movie.
Well, isn't in Free Guy doesn't he put in a lightsaber or is it like he did like
he puts in the lightsaber. He also said, was he also but
I actually never saw Adam Project, but I know that he.
So he makes there's a reference basically in Adam Project, and then in Free Guy as well. They actually have a lightsaber, like a full-on lightsaber in the.
So I knew that he had wanted to, but now in the actual press that he's been doing for Deadpool and Wolverine, he's been asked about it multiple times, and he doesn't shy away. I watched an actual YouTube video because sometimes you'll read like you'll read an article and you can't tell the nature of what someone's saying something.
Right.
In this interview, they're talking about Deadpool. They're talking about getting Hugh Jackman back, all this stuff about the movie, and then they said, "Okay, we can't let you go without asking about your Star Wars film." And he's like, "Yeah," and he like perks up and he's really excited. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm currently, we're writing. I'm currently writing it." And again, when someone's currently writing a script right now in mid to late 2025. I don't know that 2027 as a Star Wars release date is possible. No. It's just stuff takes way too long.
Yeah.
But I am excited that seems like, and I'm just excited about some of the headlines and things he said about it. He said, I have no interest in making a Star Wars film that is or any film for that matter, that is just an advertisement for the next film. He's like, I when I do something, I want it to be a complete story, and then if someone decides to do something later with those characters, whatever, great. But like, I like that he's like, I have a vision. I want to do the vision. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's exciting to me. It kind of feels like the way Tony Gilroy does Andor and did Rogue One, which is essentially like, cool, I'll do my thing in this Star Wars sandbox, but like I'm
gonna have an ending.
Yeah,
here.
and like
Yeah.
I am going to be
Yeah.
focused on character and story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, and then here's this little reference from the comics, and here's this because he's like, I'm not focused on that. Like I'm doing my story.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to try to rewrite canon, but also I'm not the person who's like just essentially he's like I'm not the one who's just going to be like here's cameo of this, here's cameo of that for the sake of
Yeah.
setting up a Star Wars project.
Yeah.
A Star Wars project,
Yeah.
a good story. So that's exciting. Obviously,
Yeah, I
Deadpool and
don't
Wolverine has
know what
made
the-
literally now over $1 billion. So Disney, it would make sense that Disney is in the Sean Levy business of,
Yeah.
of wanting to work with him again. That's just how a lot of that stuff works. So who knows? That doesn't answer what the third one could be. It could be some other thing. But the fact
Are
that
we
it's
gonna
put
get
out
a
there
rated
for
R
movies-
Star Wars at some point? You think? I don't know if they'll ever.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
think so.
I don't know.
I think that Andor.
I don't ever.
Who knows?
Ever?
I don't know.
I don't know about
Yeah.
ever.
I don't
but-
know about ever. I know Andor went the closest to it, and
Yeah. It just would. I don't know if it would feel right.
and you know that there were versions of Andor. You probably saw it, Nate. There were versions of Andor that essentially were rated R. That they had. I know that there was in the Marva
Like
speech.
TV mature. Oh yeah.
Did you in the Marva speech?
Yeah.
That they initially like had in there I
Yeah.
think like her saying like the F word, like F the Empire
Wow.
was her big like fist raising moment or whatever.
Man.
And they toned that back to be like, let's keep it PG-13 or let's keep it,
Yeah.
Petunia,
without
settle
going
down.
that. I know,
Relax.
Come
It's not-
on.
Well,
freak. I knew she was crazy when she said, Samantha Potter. Like, who spits talking like that? You're talking about family. Freak.
Wow.
I was the only one who knew what you was. A freak. You're like, oh my goodness.
Man.
Smeagol, calm down.
Barty
Colin.
Crouch
Jeez.
vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Junior.
deep cut there.
I'll be welcome back as a hero.
The-
Hello, father.
oh, Father.
Show me mine. Show me yours.
Don't you have a phone booth to jump in?
I'll
or
show
something?
you mine if you show me yours.
That's good. Oh boy. Yeah. So that's there's the films, Star Wars films.
3
Star Wars
coming,
films, yeah.
and they said it to the investors, so it's
They
got
said to the investors.
It's got to
so this
happen. I don't know
is-
if it's got to
yeah.
happen. I'm just kidding.
We don't know. Well,
Yeah.
we know Mandalorian Grogu's coming.
Yeah,
so
we know that's
exciting.
coming.
The
Yeah.
final note on that, because we got a lot to cover.
Wait, I was going to say, oh, wait. Okay.
I was just say this about the films.
Okay, good. 'Cause I
2026. This is crazy. I heard someone else saying this on Force Center. They were talking about just the dates of how fast time goes. 2026 is the earliest we're getting a Star Wars film. They've announced now the official date, May 22nd, 2026. 2019 is when we got the latest. That will have been 2026, 2020. We've got 7 years.
Man,
7 years now.
yeah.
The crazy thing is 7 years, the time between, and I think I maybe mentioned this in here before, but the exact
you did,
time
yeah.
between Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars officially coming back, as far as it being announced that Disney has been bought by Disney has bought Lucasfilm and they're making new Star Wars films. It's exactly 7 years
Wow.
between Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens. And by the time it actually comes out, 7 years, that's only essentially 2 years later. Force Awakens had
Yeah.
already had a trailer out, was all this stuff. So it's weird to think that this has now been away so long that Star Wars might actually get this kind of reignition of the excitement of, like, when they made this Mandalorian and Grogu announcement on D23, or at D23 on the stage, of announcing, like, hey, here it is. We're excited to bring it back to the big screen. There was some in me of, like, even though Star Wars hasn't been away, because we've
Mhm.
had so much more Star Wars than
Yeah,
ever before.
The movies have.
The movies have.
Yeah.
And it actually felt a little bit
Yeah.
like, oh man, when I'm actually sitting down in a theater to watch a Star Wars movie again,
It's gonna feel
it's gonna
different.
feel a little bit like when I was
Yeah.
sitting down to watch Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Like, even though this time I didn't think Star Wars was going to be gone, and
I
after
know,
Revenge of the
but
Sith,
still,
I did.
it's-
I thought it was done after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But still,
Wait,
going to
wait,
see
you know-
it in a
you know
in
what
a
it is?
theater,
You know what it
should
is?
be
It's
exciting.
actually the complete opposite. Because not only did we think it was gone before, and then we get the announcement.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. We've actually been teased year after a year.
Like we keep
After
thinking,
years.
It's coming. Next-
Here's an announcement.
no.
Here's an announcement. But that's out.
Yeah.
Here's an announcement. That's not happening. Here's an
Yep.
announcement. That's
Yeah. So we could do a full hour plus long.
But you're right.
episode
I mean,
on the films.
the build up, the anticipation of
Excitement,
a Star Wars film coming back to the big screen.
I will say I do miss, as we transition into some Skeleton Crew stuff. I do miss a little bit of the, like, I sometimes reminisce when we're thinking of Star Wars films. Someone was talking about Solo the other day, and I love Solo. I think as time goes on, I love Solo more and more and more. I love Rogue One.
Mhm.
I reminisce and miss the era a little bit. I miss that time period of
May, December. Let's go.
We've got these
I know.
films coming out. We've got them, and just of people kind of the cultural collective being excited for a Star Wars film, I miss that time period of also people just in general being super hopeful and excited for Star Wars. So I know we are. I'm hoping that this kind of rallies the troops, gets people super excited. Mandalorian and Grogu just seems like they've moved this first because it's going to be a fun movie.
It's gonna be a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Fun. It feels like a summer.
It's a fun
summer
movie. It's relatable. People. That's what people have seen. They want a conclusion to all the
And let's
stories
face
that we're
it,
seeing.
What is the actual the face of Star Wars right now is Mando and Grogu.
Mando
as
and
far
Grogu,
as
yeah.
as much
Yeah,
as there's
currently,
Luke
yeah.
and Vader and all this stuff, if you go to Target,
Mm-hmm.
like I own more Mandalorian and Grogu stuff because of Isaiah,
Yeah.
who's my 3-year-old son who just like has I don't know how many jammies.
Look at the shirt
lunchboxes
this
and
guy's
stuff.
wearing.
It is
There
like
he
if
is.
you're talking about current Star Wars, there are people out there who don't watch any
Which is
Star Wars
crazy to
and
think
see
how much
these
merch
two.
came from a show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is
gonna be a Mando generation.
It's a home run. I mean,
Yeah.
is there a bigger modern day? I mean, obviously you've got the original Lucas Kenner crossover of just like the geniusness of like let's own the rights to the toys and market it.
But
and
is
become
there something bigger merchandise-wise than Grogu?
I was to say, is there something
I
modern?
don't know,
Like,
not
is
right
there
now.
a modern toy or a thing that's like we create a new character in 2018
Yeah.
and it became the global success that Grogu is? I mean, there's a reason they're like, we're gonna do the films. We're gonna do with our most recognizable.
Yeah,
Let's make
That's
him
right.
so young so that
Also
we
our
can
most
milk this thing
universally loved.
forever.
He's
Yeah,
on the
I mean,
back
it's-
wall all the way across.
Yeah,
I mean, it is
it is.
even with.
Grogu.
I mean, we could go on
Grogu.
forever about it, but we'll transition to some Skeleton Crew. But I'm so excited.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
movies are coming
It's
back.
going to be great.
Yeah,
So Skeleton Crew, we get our first trailer.
that's
We
it. We
texted
move
a
on.
little bit about it. We didn't talk a ton in depth. Uncle, first thoughts on the Skeleton Crew.
First thing
trailer.
I said, I texted them back, this feels like Spielberg of my childhood.
100%.
Even the
Couldn't agree
shots,
more.
the way that it's seen, what we got from the trailer, the music,
Yeah,
kids, the vibe. I could just tell every kid's going to have their space and their thing. And
yeah.
That one particular
gonna be
shot
quirky
in the
and-
when it's dark
And it's dark.
and it
yeah,
has the light behind it.
Yeah.
It's like it must.
E.T..
It's like
is.
straight out of
It
E.T.
is.
E.T. coming in from the forest.
it is
Yeah.
exactly E.T.
I don't. You said something about people it hasn't been received well in testing or whatever. I don't know. We'll
That was
see.
just-
No, Jason.
Those are just things that I had heard.
We'll
I
see
didn't
how
know
the
that.
execution goes. But I am
I'm super
really,
excited. about it.
really. When I saw the trailer, really thrilled about what it.
I am too. I didn't
looks
really
like.
have a ton of expectations until seeing the trailer, and regardless of what you hear, I think it looks. I think
It's
it
for
looks
sure.
great. I'm more interested in it now than I was before.
Yeah.
For whatever. Like I heard we hear a little bit about Acolyte.
Yeah.
And this kind of story of the rumors and stuff are a little bit more on the dark side of things, and there was a lot that we heard rumor wise, and I was like, oh, I'm really excited for Acolyte. That's probably the thing I'm most excited for. I remember us doing our rankings or whatever we were most
Yep.
excited for,
Acolyte was first for me.
and I was still excited for Skeleton Crew. It's something new, but because we didn't really know much about it, I was just like,
I think
okay,
that was
like,
my second one.
Yeah,
I was like,
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm excited for it, but I don't know what I
No,
don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And now after seeing the trailer and kind of feeling like you said that like Spielberg, E.T. vibe,
Yep.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm more excited for sure than I was before, having seen some of the footage and seeing the feel of what we'll get, kind of a little bit more of what we can expect.
Yeah. One of the things I really liked is that Jedi are so we think about Jedi from this side of watching Star Wars on the screen, but what about people in Star Wars? We've seen Jedi appear and stuff, but these are kids who now we get to experience what they think about these mythical, almost mythical heroes that are out there somewhere that they've never seen that do things you can't imagine.
The way is
is this in a time period that overlaps with?
This is Mandalorian. This is the Mandalorian.
Mando
time.
time.
So
it's even more mysterious.
They're also even more mysterious, more rare.
Just to see that, I don't know. It looks really cool.
Yeah. So we texted about it. I think I put in our text. It's the Amblin feel, which is the Spielberg's company. I had been hearing before the trailer came out. I had been hearing people talking about that classic Spielberg Amblin feel would be there, which I had heard that before the trailer. I think confirmed based on what I mean. Even sometimes on the nose, like the neighborhood felt like the E.T. neighborhood we were in a little bit, which was awesome. Like I love that feel. You're talking about your kids have been watching Stranger Things.
Yep.
Stranger Things is a throwback to that.
Yeah, it is.
It feels
even literally Stranger Things being set in the 80s. They're like intentionally throwing back to like this is the kids on a bike. Like the kids on bikes going out in the woods.
Yeah. And the kids have to save everybody.
The kids.
That's kind of the idea. The
kids, and then this is. I mean, I think there's a lot that we're probably gonna get that has the Stranger Things connections too. As far as
I'm
not saying it's gonna be a horror thing like Stranger Things, but like we're gonna get some of the parents' point of view of like their kids are lost.
Yep.
So because I had heard that was shown in not this trailer. It doesn't focus on the parents much, but I had heard that in some of the footage at
D23
Celebration from before that they focus a little more on some of the parents finding out like their kids are lost. Their kids are lost in space. They're worried parents who have jobs and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Which especially season 1 of Stranger Things,
which
really
I think will be an interesting.
It'll
be an interesting perspective too of just the Star Wars universe, like these average.
A normal life.
Exactly.
Yes.
Normal life. My
not
kids
a moisture
are gone
farmer. I live in a neighborhood. I don't live in a huge city.
Yes. So,
I don't live in a desert. I live in a town.
Yeah, I live in a town. I live. Yeah,
right.
And my kids are gone, and then they get some.
We haven't gotten
Jedi comes. Nah, that can't be real.
We haven't gotten the Star Wars.
That's their imagination.
Never heard of such a thing.
We haven't gotten the Star Wars suburbs before.
We haven't.
We've gotten the, and I have heard some people. So I haven't heard like a ton.
You're gonna get mad about
that. I was
that.
gonna say I haven't heard a ton of negative stuff about it. I did hear some people just like saying, "Oh, when I watched the trailer, I was like." This isn't me saying it. This is what I'd heard some people saying of like, I was a little bit like, whoa, is this feel too much like real world stuff? Is Star Wars supposed to look
earthy?
Like a normal neighborhood or supposed to, too earthy? What's funny is Star Wars, we've only seen, even with the number of shows we've only seen a number of planets, some of which are supposed to be the extremes.
They are.
Luke says Tatooine, whatever the center of the galaxy is, this is the planet it's furthest from.
Right.
There are places on Earth that look like very similar to Tatooine. Of like, it is not neighborhoods. Yeah.
Tunisia.
Exactly.
It looks like
not,
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It does not look like neighborhoods and suburbs with pavements and schools. It is literally, I live in a hut and I'm
Naboo.
trying
I mean,
to
look at
survive.
Naboo.
Well, you have Naboo.
You have Naboo, and that's more.
You get
what was that film? Italy or something?
Italy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also get Coruscant and things like that, which are still Star Wars take on, but it is the city's a whole planet, or the whole planet's a city. It's the I mean, even in the even some of the underground versions of Corellia and different stuff, like there's industrial things that are very much. I mean, Andor has stuff definitely that looks real world.
Yeah.
So I like that we haven't really had much of this. We've had the extremes. We have had the rebel leaders, the freedom fighters. We've had the Death Star, the Empire. We've had the moisture farmers, and we've had the politicians. But we haven't had a ton of, and we've even had like the high nightlife stuff of, in some of the Last Jedi stuff of what happens to like these people who are gambling and they're at casinos. we haven't just seen like, yeah, but what about the guy who's just punching in for a job?
They live in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
They live in a
Who
neighborhood.
doesn't work? Who doesn't work for the Empire? Who
Yeah.
doesn't?
They're just living on a planet.
Yeah.
They're just doing their thing.
Right.
And is not saying they're unaware of what's
Kids
going
go
on,
to
but they
school
just like
every
to
day.
have-
Working
yeah,
at the local Star Mart.
yeah,
Right.
the Star Mart. of
Star Mart.
course.
Star Mart.
So I'm super excited about it. I'm really excited. John Watts, who's doing this,
Yeah.
is Spider-Man No Way Home. He's the guy who directed Spider-Man No Way Home, Far From Home, and maybe even Homecoming. He did, I think, the whole trilogy of. So this guy knows
Yeah.
how to do cinematic stuff.
He's-
It's shot beautifully.
Humor.
Yeah.
Tom
humor.
Holland's in it.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland is
Tom
the
Holland
main
is
character.
The child. They de-aged him.
That's right.
He's the
Yeah.
blue one.
But not much.
Goonies.
Is
People
like-
have been talking about the Goonies.
Yeah.
Feel again. That's another. The children are the main characters.
Speaking of Goonies, Sean
so
Astin.
excited. Sean Astin.
You had a call out for him. What was he doing?
Sean Astin was in Stranger Things. You
That's
just
it.
know
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Which you blew that
Guys,
for me.
Baby Max
So,
Rebo.
I'll need to watch that now, I guess. Check that off.
Yeah.
Baby
Oh,
Max
that's
Rebo.
Baby Max Rebo.
It
It's
is.
not actually Max Rebo.
No.
He doesn't sound congested at all,
No.
which you would think.
No. He's
sound like more like this.
in,
Why? I don't want to go. I don't want to go home,
what
Mom.
if this looking Max Rebo looking character had just as a belt the keyboard.
Keyboard.
Like, it's just actually attached to him.
It's a part of their
It's a
character.
part
It's
of
a
their-
part
Don't
of
know
their
is it's not-
species.
We've only seen him sitting next to the piano because it's actually a
They
growth.
come. They come with
It's
it.
a growth. Yeah,
It's part of their
exactly.
species.
You know, at the age of 12, they sprout their first keyboard. It's just
There's-
part of.
no, they
it's
sprout
like-
their first key.
Yeah,
Their
that's it.
fingers are not ideal for that instrument.
Not ideal.
Just
No.
No,
But-
but they have suction cup looking fingers.
It's
Like you're
hard.
sticking to the keys.
get the wide keys.
just
but
doesn't-
it's fine.
You know. I'm super excited about it. I'm
Me
really
too.
excited.
Yeah.
for
Can't
this.
wait.
I
And
am
Jude,
too.
Jude
Third.
Law, I think he'll be a good.
Jude Law.
Seems to be a good fit. He's a good
Yes.
actor.
He's
Yeah.
a good actor. I think.
Is he going to have a British accent? I wonder. We're going to have a Jedi, and this time with a British accent.
Did you know his name? They announced
Morant?
John Nanawood. I think is his name.
That's not it.
It actually is.
Uncle's
John-
You're making it up.
No, watch
Uncle's
this.
reaction.
Jude Law-
Jalara
watch this here.
Baganaba?
Jude, I know it's
John-
a hilarious name.
Uncle
John-
just goes,
Watch this here.
that's not it.
Here it is.
I said John Morant.
Uncle takes
Close.
Uncle takes it back.
Character.
Everything he just said. You know what? Never
John-
mind. I
I'm
am
not
out
excited
on
anymore.
the one decision of
This
that
sounds
name.
like Trump saying it. Jod Nanawood. But no,
Jod.
Jod
Oh,
Nanawood.
Nawood.
Let me
Jod
see.
Nanawood.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it's Jod Nawood.
Yeah.
Jod Nanawood.
Or Jodna.
Either way, it's kind of a
Jodna.
goofy name, but Jod
Jodna.
Nanawood. Maybe it's someone who just
They're
got
running out of
really
Star
nervous.
Wars names.
Jod Nanawood.
Jod.
True.
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it'll be fine.
excited.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, really?
Really.
Anakin? What is
Qui-Gon
this?
Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn sounds like a kind of tea.
Qui-Gon
Qui-Gon
Jinn.
tea.
I prefer Qui-Gon Scotch. Qui-Gon liqueur.
No, it's just going on around.
It's going to be fine.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
For Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, I am
So-
too. I am too. I'm looking forward to it.
It's I like the
It'll be great.
feel of it, just based on the trailer, and even that we're talking about Goonies. That little skeleton, like the
Yeah.
jaw drops. That's a classic.
They discover
Like,
him.
it's exactly what
They
that
get
is.
on that ship and they find a dead crew and like,
excited.
what is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
What's
So
this
we'll
button
see.
do? And then here we go.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
That's the
And
start.
we see, we got some X-wings and stuff
It
at the
looks
end
like
of it too.
yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like it'll be a fun like adventure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
it'll be
gonna
good.
Great.
It'll be good. Looking forward to it.
Then we talk about also D23. They did so Mandalorian and Grogu. Filoni and Favreau came on and talked about that.
Yep.
Talked a lot about Skeleton Crew. That was the one that got the big trailer release.
That's December
December 3rd.
3rd this year.
Which is
It's our next.
I'm
it's
a
our next
little-
Thing. Well, no. The
one-
next thing is the next thing.
the next thing's the
What we're
next.
going to talk about.
The
The next
we'll get
thing
to.
is the
Is
next
the
thing.
next
I'm
thing.
wondering the release date, the release schedule, I should say, of Skeleton Crew. Because I'm not sure, is it going to go through Christmas? Because they announced it's a 2-episode premiere. But December 3rd actually would take us through the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to be casting through the holidays? Are we going to have like a Christmas Eve? I think it would line up where maybe it comes out on Christmas Eve if it was to keep the Tuesday schedule, which
Huh.
or maybe they'll just do like a week off or something like that. But I'm wondering how that release schedule's
How they'll do that? Yeah.
gonna work, because they announced 2 at
Yeah.
the beginning and they announced that it's 8. So I'm interested.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
We'll see.
We will see.
We'll
But
see. I'm sure.
What day is the 3rd? We know.
I'm guessing in the next
I
month
think
or
it's-
so. We'll
I think
get
they
an
said
actual
Tuesdays.
schedule.
Yeah. Tuesdays
But I can tell you,
Tuesdays.
on ABC.
it is
Tuesdays.
Tuesday. The 3rd's a Tuesday.
Okay.
Did they say if it'll be at 8
Tuesday.
p.m.?
I think they're going back to the 8 p.m.
That's good.
So 3rd, 10th,
Although apparently it didn't help
17th,
the Acolyte viewership, so I don't know.
24th,
They did it 'cause they thought it was
31st.
going to help the viewership. The announcement of the 8 p.m.
Wasn't the Acolyte
Oh,
viewership
8
though
p.m.
good at the beginning?
Maybe.
So was
and
it
then just
because of
plummeted, I
that, or
think,
was it because
as
of the
far as
show?
viewership.
People like.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I think didn't they say also Ahsoka's viewership started off really good and then kind of went on like tailed a little bit. I'm trying to think. Or
I don't
was
know.
it? 'Cause I don't think Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan's was good.
Obi-Wan's was good. It was like
Obi-Wan's the
Obi-Wan's
highest.
the most watched.
I don't know.
It's weird to
Viewership.
me. I mean, I loved Obi-Wan, but I knew
Yeah.
how those characters are going to end up.
Yeah.
Acolyte was like like
brand
a
new.
mystery. Somebody died every show. Like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what's going to happen to these guys? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I liked having.
I thought the
characters
mystery
that
of it
could
drew me
die at
in.
any
I was
moment.
I
like, I
agree.
gotta
I
see
agree.
what
The
happens.
mystery made me.
Even Ahsoka, we know some of those characters we knew.
Well,
we didn't know
like,
all of them.
we knew, as much as we love the Ahsoka show, we knew there was a 0% chance that Thrawn was dying in that season.
That's right.
They had
Yeah.
just spent
Yeah.
Or Ahsoka.
literally, yeah, and
Or-
to bring him to live action, they
Yeah.
literally just spent the last 30 years
Yeah.
since the creation of Thrawn
Could you
in the
imagine?
novels. They weren't going to bring him in for 2 episodes, and he was going to die.
There's no way.
Yeah.
We also knew Ahsoka wasn't going to die.
They were great. Loved
yeah,
them.
they were great.
I'm just saying the mystery of Acolyte.
I'm with you.
I'm like,
I
what is
liked-
going to happen?
It's one of the reasons why, when we'll talk about Andor Season 2 in a second, that some of the characters who are not in Rogue One,
Right.
I am very, very curious. And there's a lot of
What
characters
happens?
in Season 2 that are in
Yeah.
Rogue One, as we'll talk about in a second. But Stellan
What
Skarsgård's character, I am nervous for.
He's not
Um,
making it, Pat. He's not.
he-
They
Making
could certainly disappear
teased it.
somewhere into the
It's not.
I
we are
think-
Imperial
definitely
prison
past, yeah,
system or
we
something.
are past the.
But
I think he
past the
teased
era
it.
of
I think
Star
he
Wars.
teased it with his speech about how he's fighting for a sunrise he'll never see.
Yeah, we are
yeah.
past the era of Star Wars where if someone didn't show up in this film, then they must be dead.
Yeah.
Because Filoni with Ahsoka has shown
Because
that,
even
like,
if they
or
show
she-
up
he
in
can be
this,
in- they
even
can
if
be in a
they
different
die
galaxy.
in this scene,
even if they
they're
die,
not dead.
they're not
They
dead.
can be in a different even if yeah.
Even if you
True.
see them
Did you hear
die
that-
on screen,
Did you
they're
hear
not
that
dead.
crazy stat that there's only been one? The Jedi have only killed one Sith. I
Really?
think, or 0. What was it? 1 or 0? Can you think of?
Oh,
it?
because
Palpatine?
now
Palpatine's the only one.
because now Maul.
I mean,
I guess
Well,
eventually Maul
Obi-Wan
leaves.
eventually.
Maul was the one.
Obi-Wan eventually.
And even
kills
then,
Maul.
it wasn't
Maul
in the
was the
moment
one
because we
Obi-Wan
find
killed.
out that later he
Yeah.
survives that.
Yeah.
And Palpatine, I guess, technically is the Sith, the 2.
Does anyone else?
But there's not there aren't that many compared to the Jedi. If you keep in score,
Well, didn't
Oh,
Anakin
yeah.
kill
the Sith,
Dooku?
And-
the Sith, but he wasn't
and if we want to
technically.
get, yeah,
he
yeah,
wasn't.
Yeah, Dooku's. Yeah, there's a number of. Well, I guess technically, yeah, Dooku. He
would have been
because he's Darth. Yeah, he's
Darth Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. What's interesting is about Maul is.
Oh
if
well,
we
I guess
really
Maul.
wa- if we want to
Maul didn't die. Well,
Maul
I was gonna
died
say, if we
later.
want to split hairs,
But at the
Maul
time
dies
wasn't.
not as Darth Maul.
he wasn't.
yeah, that's
he
true.
actually
He
comes
dies
back
as
and they
Maul.
make it in the show
That's
very
right.
specific that he has left the
That's
Sith
right.
order and
Yeah,
he is
yeah,
now
yeah.
just Maul. Now he was defeated as Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Now it just makes it even funnier to me the ridiculous statement by Obi-Wan. The absolutely ridiculous statement by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Sith are a speciality.
A speciality.
They're not your speciality. They're in fact the Jedi's biggest weakness, and you've only
Right.
You, sir, have only fought one in your whole life.
One, right.
You
And
just found out they were back.
He murdered your master, and then you luckily got him right after that. And also, as you're saying this, he's alive.
He's
you
alive.
don't even
He's
know
not even
it.
dead.
He's not
You
even
didn't even
dead.
get that one.
He's not your
You
specialty.
didn't even get that
In
one.
fact, they're so
You
dangerous.
just found out they're back.
In fact, they are so dangerous. You cut him in half, and he's not dead. Like you have no idea what you're up against, and also the whole Jedi are going to be wiped out because you have no idea that the Sith are this dangerous.
That is true.
Do
What
you
else we got?
Do we want to talk about
Sorry,
Andor Season 2? Or we'll talk about Andor Season 2 last. So because I know we're moving.
Because I gotta.
I said
wrap
what's
up.
next is actually
What's
next.
next is next, which is the Lego Star Wars
Rebuild the Galaxy.
which both you two just watched the trailer right
Just
before.
watched it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd seen the teaser trailer. They had a teaser trailer a month ago.
I always like the Star Wars Lego.
Or a few
I like
months
the
ago.
Lego stuff because it reminds me of it is when Star Wars pokes fun at itself,
Yeah.
but not
Well,
in a super
specifically Lego
mean-spirited
Star
way.
Wars.
No.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in they get the cultural jokes.
Right.
Like, they get it's not
Yeah.
they don't push back against the narrative or whatever. They make like
Like,
it'll
that's
be
kind of true. And
it'll
I'll
be
show
a
you why.
stormtrooper
Things
who
got
then
true.
is like trying to shoot and he can't control his blaster.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the ongoing joke is that they have horrible aim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the trailer you guys just saw, it's funny hearing Mark Hamill say, "Wait, let me get this straight.
You want to
In
bring
my
back?
galaxy,
Yeah.
you want me back in my galaxy. You know, my father is the greatest villain of all time who turns good for like 5 minutes
and
and
then
then
dies in my arms.
and then my nephew turns bad and kills all my friends and family. And then I use the Force so hard that
And
it
I
kills
go into
me.
hiding. I go into hiding for years, and
I
I
go into
use
hiding
come
for years,
back
and
and
I-
use the Force so hard
So
it
hard
kills
it
me.
kills me. And then he's like,
Well,
"Well,
when you
when you put it that way."
when you say it like
So
that.
it's funny when they when
Yes.
they poke
And,
fun at
and
himself.
Darth Jar Jar.
Jar Jar.
Even the fan theories and stuff they're joking with.
If you haven't seen it yet,
It's
watch
fun.
the trailer. It's good. And there's
It's
a
fun.
white Vader in there.
There's a white Vader.
Light side Vader.
There's Rey.
Dark
Dark
Ray.
Dark Ray.
There's a
You've
scene
got-
where we have a crew coming together that includes Yoda
There's-
and
Yeah, wait, and that
Grievous.
and
You know
line
what's-
was great because it's
Like
the
what?
it's the they make fun of the Mace Windu. This party's over. And he
Yeah.
said, "This party's just getting started." that's what they said
This
in the
also-
trailer.
also-
And it's Grievous and him, and
Yeah.
it's funny. This
They-
party's just getting
They
started.
already have merchandise out for this.
It's
Because I
gonna be
saw
really
it
cool.
at Target the other day.
Yep.
I saw the full black Millennium Falcon,
Oh man.
and it was from, and obviously
and they
it's
showed
Lego.
the
It was
Rebellion.
Lego.
Yeah.
All black
Lego.
Lego Millennium
Brilliant.
Falcon, the black leg or like the dark side Millennium Falcon from this show.
And in the trailer, they had the Rebel Alliance AT-ATs.
AT-ATs.
Mhm.
They're
Which
gonna
is-
have
so that's
endless
gonna-
merch. Everything.
Yeah.
Think about everything you just had. We've had in Star Wars, and they just like flipped it,
Flip 'em.
and now they can remake all of that merchandise.
Man.
Yeah, it's also. Did you notice in that trailer, it had like Luke. It was funny. Luke looked like hipster Luke or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
because he had like his shirt kind of open.
He had
He had
Anakin's.
Anakin's.
He had
Anakin's necklace
wooden
on.
necklace from
Yeah.
A New Hope that he carved for Padme.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks fun. It's a four piece event that
Four
comes
piece?
next month. So
Next
I'm
month?
excited about that.
Yeah, that'll
Very
be
excited.
fun. I'm
September
looking forward to that.
13th, I believe.
Man.
Yeah, that Falcon, all black Falcon. It
It's
came
exciting.
with it like other like the minifigs, and it had the all white Vader with it, and
That's gonna be insane.
Darth Jar Jar.
It's gonna be hard for people to hate because they're already poking fun at themselves. What are the haters gonna say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no ammo there.
And
'cause
that's the
they're already
point. It's
saying
a
it.
joking,
Yeah, it's gonna be
fun little show.
I think it'll be fun.
There's a couple rapid fire things as we get to Andor Season 2 because I
Ooh.
know we're wrapping.
Shoot them.
Some stuff I
Shoot
screenshot
that thing.
in between the last time we met and now. Couple
Yeah.
of headlines. Donald Glover says he is making the Lando movie because he likes the characters, his kids love Star Wars, and he gets complete creative control, is what he says. Quote, I just know when something's going to be good. And maybe you get painted as a control freak when you say that, but Control allows for the vision to be singular. The less singular, the less people want it because it feels like they maybe could have made it themselves. So he's like, it's when
He's
it's
right.
something that's just unique and it's your vision.
Movies by committee, it's hard.
When it's by committee, it's like we're using all this stuff. So
feels
it's like
watered down.
when a group
Yeah.
comes up
Maybe
and says
that's
this,
one of the
Now
movies.
you can miss by a mile.
you can miss.
Just
You
ask
completely-
Trevorrow.
Yes,
But-
yes.
But you can also
Maybe
get-
that's one of
By
the
the
it's
way-
three.
totally unique. It's not like
Honestly,
anything else.
maybe
I mean
that's one of
this-
the three.
Maybe.
I mean this with love, but one of the things that I will continuously do on this podcast, and I love it, is poke fun at some of the bad ideas in that Trevorrow script. Because and now I will say there are some
It is
stuff in there
singular.
that is really cool. There's stuff in there that I'm like, oh, I would love to see this
It'd be
giant battle on
great for
Coruscant.
for Rebuild the Galaxy.
It'd be great. And there are cool ideas in there that I admit, like, oh man, it's always after you get something, it's always exciting. That's why people love deleted scenes and like.
That's
no
why.
matter what
Listen,
it
this
is,
that's why people love
you
the
like
Snyder
seeing
cuts.
What could have happened?
People want
Or could
endless
have
Snyder
been.
cuts
That's
because
right.
they just want.
You always
what
like to
could
see
have
what
what
happened.
could have.
been.
Oh, if
Yeah.
they didn't do this, what could happen?
Even when you get complete control,
But the
I'm going
Trev-
to say I didn't have complete control.
but
I'll make
the-
another one.
But the Trevorrow idea that they had to turn down
Yeah, exactly.
was that Rey teaches Yoda at the very end. She actually has a conversation with Yoda, and Yoda's like, blinded. The Jedi were like in the talking about like narrow-sighted. We were. You embraced, and he tells her like you embraced both the dark and the light and found the balance within. It's not about being the light side or the dark side. Sometimes you have to tap into light. Sometimes you tap into the dark and embrace the both. Like no,
that's not
it's
exact.
not Star Wars at all.
That's not at all what balance
No.
means.
It's
Have you
in
seen
fact,
any
what
of
Star
the
Wars?
movies?
What Star Wars is actually showing you is that every person has some dark side tendencies in them,
Yeah.
and that we don't act on them.
Right.
That it's not that you should never act on your dark
Yeah.
side impulses.
You don't act on your.
It's not that
temptation.
everyone is 100% light. That's not what Star Wars is saying.
Mm-mm.
It's that everyone has temptations to fall to the dark side or to act on their dark impulses, and that the Jedi are the examples of at best keeping that at bay and not tapping into that. Now, it doesn't mean that
Yeah, you're not who.
as we've seen in Acolyte,
Yeah.
but never is the answer to embrace the dark. Like that's not, that just doesn't. That was the
Not at
opposite.
all.
Kathleen Kennedy is like, yeah, okay, if we don't change that, this script does not happen.
Then I'm walking.
Then that's it. I'm walking. I'm out of here.
I can't. If you don't make Yoda
Also,
evil,
thinking of that, I'm thinking about
do it.
Rise of Skywalker and made me think. You know when Rey's like, you knew all along that I was related to Palpatine, and he's like, yeah, Leia knew too, and you
Mhm.
still took basically like, and you still took me in, you still
Mhm.
trained me. Luke's, I was just thinking about that. Luke could have been like, well, yeah, do you know who my dad was?
Yeah. So it's just.
You know who
I
my
know
dad
better than
was? I hope
anybody.
we're not
Yeah.
defined by who
Right.
our parents are.
Exactly.
Leia ran as a politician. It's like she was still a politician, and the skeleton in her closet. And they actually have books about this.
about her
This is-
hiding the
Yeah.
fact that it was.
Yeah, about the fact that she was actually labeled it's not Leia Princess of Alderaan. What's the oh man, I know the book 'cause I own it.
Like not trustworthy.
Bloodline.
But they had to
Yeah,
hide the
Bloodline.
fact.
Bloodline.
Is about she is labeled from from rival politicians a warmonger, and the reason they say that is they are just connecting the fact that she is she's Vader's daughter, and this is out there, and they have to deal with the political backlash of that.
Yeah.
Couple small things. Boba Fett officially at Galaxy's Edge
Galaxy's
now.
Edge.
Yeah.
And so there's been some announcements also.
They had some
recently.
park stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talked about how they're going to. So we speculated in the past, like,
Oh, they're bringing a Mando and Grogu thing to the Falcon.
yeah, to
Adventure.
the Falcon.
Yes.
Yeah.
To
that.
Smuggler's Run. They're going to edit it so that there's another.
One of the possibilities is Amanda Grogu.
one of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
My
That'll be cool.
Great.
which I like. We've all said is cool as I think the initial idea for Galaxy's Edge, and we love Galaxy's Edge.
You do put yourself in a box when you're
you-
limited to a
when you
certain
say
time
that it's in
frame.
That's
this
right.
time period, and we're gonna act real world inside the time period as if you are
First
in
Order
between
and-
episodes 8 and 9. It's hard to. So we had thought that they need to kind of back off that a little bit and make it more.
Right.
You need to embrace that, like Luke Skywalker could be walking around like it could be Princess Leia, like a
Embrace
Princess
the idea
Leia
that
could
it's
be
a
walking
it's
around
a
and could do
planet
that.
where these characters can come
Yeah.
and go.
Yeah.
It's Batu.
But
where
we,
they
we
can-
don't want to limit our opportunities where Mando and Grogu couldn't be there when they're now
Could show
your
up.
biggest your biggest current.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You've got to open that up, Boba Fett. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that was cool. That was a good
Yep.
idea that they changed that a little bit. A couple things. Andor Season 2. They announced it will take place over 4 years. Sorry, it takes place over 4 years. There will be a 1 year time jump every 3 episodes.
Yeah. 3
So-
episode arc.
That's
Yeah.
the way that Andor Season 1 was. It definitely was like episode 1, 2, 3, boom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
complete story. Like there was these arcs, so that's always cool. I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
great.
Officially, Ben Mendelsohn is back as director Krennic, which I love. He's
That's
one of my
awesome.
favorite
Yeah.
villains.
He's so great.
He is. I think this is really. I mean, I love Andor Season 1. I'm excited because I really am getting super excited.
It's
for Season
connecting
2.
the dots with my
It's-
favorite.
It is. It's
I
just,
can't
it's
wait
that
for
time
Season
period.
4.
Andor's
One.
The
so
writing of Season 1 is so good.
Awesome.
To combine that with getting Krennic back, Forrest Whitaker's back as Saw Gerrera, the K2SO is officially back. It's just exciting. It said releasing in 2025. They didn't give an early or late or anything. I think maybe they're figuring out when to have that come out.
Yeah.
Which Disney's also interesting because they also kind of schedule around like their other Disney things they have.
Yeah,
coming
other
out,
releases
too.
and
So like
things.
it's
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
like, oh, does it conflict with other Star Wars? They're like, yeah, but we'd also want it to conflict with
With
Marvel
Loki
or
season
Loki or
3,
whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I'm super excited about that. I mean,
a lot to look forward to.
I would
It's
say
exciting.
you look at all the stuff we've got here, just even we talked about today, stuff that's coming soon. Skeleton Crew is Lego
Rebuild the Galaxy.
Lego next month. Skeleton Crew being the next live action show, December 3rd. That's not that long away when you
Yeah.
look at
Right.
us
Yeah.
being mid-August
Yeah.
right now. And then it's Season 2 of obviously Andor, and then sometime later on we'll get some Ahsoka Season 2, Mandalorian Grogu film
Mandalorian Grogu film. 2 other
Rey
movies.
film coming.
True.
Potentially,
Ahsoka 2 eventually.
yeah. I'm super excited. We got a lot
Yeah.
to talk about with Star Wars today, but obviously a lot coming in the future, and I'm excited for Skeleton Crew.
Oh,
I'm
me
really
too.
excited.
I'm
for
looking
it.
forward
Can't
to
wait.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. There you have it. There's the announcements from D23. We're excited for the future of where things are going. We're optimistic. We like to think these are going to be good. We're hoping they all pan out and do
And
well, perform
We
well.
didn't, we didn't mention this, but Outlaws, end of the month.
Oh,
Outlaws, that's right.
A couple days away.
There's
Outlaws.
so many things coming
Anyway.
with Star Wars that we
It wasn't announced, but it's right here.
True.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws. That's right.
Yeah, we may
That's
have
right.
to review that too.
That's
Yeah.
true. I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Outlaws.
Coming.
Yeah.
No pre-order yet?
It's
didn't
like you
pre-order yet?
hear about these things and then you see footage and you kind of
Yeah.
put it on the back burner because you're like, oh, that's
It's way out.
that's 8 months away or
Not
whatever.
anymore.
Now it's like, oh, it's 2 weeks.
2
Oh, okay.
weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Outlaws.
13
Looking
days.
forward to open world game.
Give me more Kira. I like Kira's character.
Yeah.
I like when we talk about some of these characters that can show up in video games.
Yeah.
And these bounty
Yeah,
hunters
yeah,
and
true.
outlaw
Exactly.
Stuff. I mean,
I mean, Boba Fett showed up and
We-
Boba Fett.
we
And,
love I mean, from the moment we
what was
met
it,
Han
Fallen-
Solo.
not Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor.
Survivor.
Yeah. From the moment we met Han Solo, Star Wars has always done well with the outlaw type
Right.
characters. Now Mando's crushing as an outlaw
Yeah.
type of a character.
It's a great
It's just-
event. Yeah, it's
There's
a great
always
avenue.
there's always a lot of fun you can do with the morally flexible characters.
Yeah, it's fun.
Where you're like, they can. Did Han shoot first? Yeah. Does
There's an
Mando-
undercurrent of good in there. It's just
for
you
sure.
gotta look hard
it's
to
just
find
the
it.
morally. I mean, the first time we meet Cassian, he's killing someone.
Killing somebody, his
He's
friend.
killing someone.
Brutal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just right in the back too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, it's like,
Yeah, turn around, look over
whoa,
there.
This is the rebellion.
Hey, look at that.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Lot of Star Wars. To
Yep.
get to.
Looking
Cool.
forward
Love
to
it.
it. Can't wait. We're excited. Yeah, lots to look forward to. So, with that, if you made it this far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and smash the notification bell. Let us know what you're looking forward to most Are you looking forward to Skeleton Crew? Is it Rebuild the Galaxy? Is it one of the movies? Let us know what you think. Drop it in the comments. We'll catch you guys in the next one. And as always, may the Force be with you.
You have something I want. I just randomly went to a Moff Gideon quote, and here's the reason why, though. My son, Isaiah, if you're watching, Daddy's shouting you out right now. He's 3 years old.
And he's probably watching.
He's reading, he's got this little Mandalorian book that has all these characters in it, and each character, he now knows every character on there. What does Queel say? And then
you got to have a quote ready.
So then we start looking up we would look up a little scene for each of the characters. And so now he's going around the house and I quiz him. And what's so funny is I could not remember Bill Burr's character's name. So in the book, we go, oh, that's Moff Gideon. Oh, and that's Bill Burr. And we just say, that's Bill Burr. And so
it's Mayfeld,
he goes around. And so right now I ask him, and I go, what does Grief Karga say? And then he always has one quote, and he'll just go, Mando, because that's how Grief Karga goes. And it's just this big, huge, over-the-top Mando. But then we go, what does Bill Burr say? And in the one quote we could find on YouTube, that was just like an actual thing he's saying, other than just like some long monologue. It's him frustrated at Mando because it's in the prisoner episode we first meet him.
Yeah.
Mando's got a gun on him, and he goes, get that blaster out of my face, Mando. And so when you ask Isaiah, what does Bill Burr say? And he goes, get that blaster out of my face, Mando. And that's what he says. And then we go, what's Moff Gideon say? You have something I want. And so yeah, and then what does Queel say?
That's hilarious.
I have spoken.
I have spoken. Nick
Yeah.
Nolte in Star Wars, that felt like a dream.
I know.
I can't even believe that was
And with
real.
that,